Before this episode, you anime-onlys for Monster Musume no Iru Nichijou, or Everyday Life with Monster Girls. Before this episode, episode 7 to be precise, of this show and everything, you guys might not have expected how badass Miss Smith was if you hadn't watched the ending song, or hadn't seen the manga, or realized actually how complete badass she is. She was already she had this cool, mysterious, beauty kind of badass feel to her before. But this episode fully showcased that. She commands a squad, an interspecies squad, so that they can take on cases where there's violence between the non-humans and humans, and they can take care of both sides, so they can be arrested and punished. Each side can, and there's no violations of the law. As it stood and everything, we got introduced to the MON squad, and the MON squad happens to be one of my favorite group of characters of all time, because we have Zombina, who is probably my second or third favorite in this series. Why? Because we have a badass zombie chick, and she literally just takes the guns and shoots through her on stuff and goes, "Oh, I'm gonna put on so much weight because of all the lead in me." So getting introduced to, finally for us, to Zombina, Monako, Doppel, and Tia, the whole squad, the MON squad, or the Monster Squad, that Smith controls and everything. She's the head of it, and they go take on cases like this. Orcs had taken over a doujin shop, a manga shop, and all that, and they wanted changes to hentai. I'm not going to dive into that because that's already cringeworthy. So yeah, they disguised themselves and easily took out the orcs. We have Tia, or... yeah, I'm just going to call her Tia. It's abbreviated anyways. But Tia is an ogre. Huge horn, and she's gigantic, and she wears a suit of armor and all that, like the cool badass armor most of the time. And she goes straight through the wall. She takes care of two orcs. Monaco's sniping from over a kilometer away and everything. She's sniping their guns in half, while Zombina took a bunch of bullets in her, but then she just shoots a bunch of them. They're all rubber bullets, and except for Monaco's, who destroys the guns and all that. And then we have Doppel, who pretended to be a hostage, and then just pretty much kicked one of the other orcs' ass. So the orcs surrendered to Miss Smith and all that, because the most punishment they could get was deportation. So Doppel changed into Miss Smith, put on her glasses and all that, and called the actual Miss Smith, the human Miss Smith, Doppel, and said, "Don't go too hard on him." And Miss Smith gets really fucking pissed. Oh, bad little piggies have to be punished. And she shoots him so many times with rubber bullets and all that. And Miss Smith, you're terrifying, you're badass, you're mysterious, you're cool. God damn, I love your character. I love Zombina a shit ton. It's probably going like Mia, Poppy, or Mia, Zombina, Poppy, and Miss Smith, and then there's a couple extra characters in the future I'll mention. So yeah, we got introduced to the MON squad, and they're going to play a nice role throughout this couple last episodes we're going to have for this series, and we might even get a season 2. I don't see them getting everything that's in the manga so far, but there's still quite a bit they could probably cover, because as the rate they're going, they're getting through quite a bit of them, and I'm really liking this. I want to comment on the whole thing. If you guys hadn't noticed, they switched the ending song and the opening song around just for this episode. I'm assuming just for this episode. So I had the Monster Squad, pretty much, song at the very beginning where it showcased Doppel, Tia, Zombina, and Monako. Monaco's the Cyclops, Doppel's the Doppelganger, Zombina's zombie chick, and Tia's the ogre. So we have all of that in the very beginning. And that's a really, really nice song. Then we have the Monster, Monster, that song at the end. So I like that whole, they switched it around just to get us really hyped up for the Monster Squad. I loved this. I love the first half and the second half of this episode. We got introduced to the Monster Squad, then Rachnera, or Rachnea as she'll be later called. She's the Arachne and all that, and she ends up kidnapping Darling because she wants to force him to admit that he's a hypocrite, to show how much of a hypocrite he is, because humans always look at her, since she's half spider, half human and all that, or has the upper body of a human and all that. They look at her with complete disgust, so she doesn't trust humans, she doesn't like humans for the most part. And Kurisu got turned on by her legs and got a boner. She goes, "Oh, you're hard here." Because she was holding him to her boobs and all that, and he was like pressed all up against her, and she's like, "Oh, you're hard right here." And then she had him restrained and all tied up and all that. She had run away and even inflicted violence on her placeholder homestay. The director guy, he was the shady guy. He bought Rachnera from her previous homestay through some shady deals and all that, and then he took her, and it wasn't an official homestay, and he just used her for silk, so she didn't like him either, and her original homestay didn't really... She could tell by the looks of the disgust on their face that they expected something softer, not something like an Arachne. And I will say, I like Rachnera, but she's not my top. I do like her. I like her character. I like the design. I like her personality, how she is later on in the series, but she's not my favorite. And I was sitting there, I'm like, I am so confused. Are you as confused as I am? So yeah, we got introduced to Rachnera because she had kidnapped Kurisu, and they were having some funny moments, and she actually grew fond of him a little bit. She likes teasing him and all that. And when he was restrained by his mouth and legs and completely like tied up and all that, he bit through her string, which was really strong, and he fell down. And she goes, "Wow, it looks like there's not just one part of you that's hard right now." Kurisu even admitted to having a leg fetish. And she has 8 legs. Good for Kurisu, but bad for Mia. I wonder if they'll actually put that in, or if they're going to continue with the specials, maybe. But I'm looking forward to when the main girls really ask what Darlene's fetish is. For you manga readers, we know what's going to happen, and it's going to be perfect. Don't you agree? Man, they're doing this series justice. They're adapting it so beautifully. The animation style, the voice actors. Oh my god, I love Zombina's voice actor. All the voice actors are so fitting for these characters. I have no qualms with this series. And even recently, I found out, you know how they've censored out some parts. If you're a manga reader, you've noticed a lot of the censors. And even if you're an anime owner, you notice that they don't have the nipples, but they still have the indication of nipples. So I found some imagery that showed the nipples that are going to be edited back on. They're for the Blu-ray DVD pack release. They're going to have the nipples back on. It's just right now, due to Japan's censor laws, they can't show certain shots like of the nipples, or how when Mia was pulling off her underwear, or Poppy with her underwear and Darling was feeling right here. We got different scenes in that and all that because they had to censor it out. But when we get the Blu-ray and all that, we're going to get so much more, and I hope this series gets dubbed as soon as possible because I want to purchase this. Monster Musume no Iru Nichijou, you are one of my top favorites of this season, and the manga is absolutely amazing. It's just like the anime, but there's a lot more to it. There's like 34, 35 chapters, maybe even more. And it's almost like a monthly manga sometimes. But I think due to the anime being out, the manga writer, Okayato, he's really taking a small break so the anime can get to a certain point, and then he can continue on, so you have more to read. So, that, and then the last point I really want to hit is... I do like how Rachnera kind of joined in with Kurisu. She grew fond of him because he didn't suspect her at all. He doesn't feel disgust. He's completely fine with Arachne. He's used to a monster girl life and all that. And she doesn't scare him. So she's grown fond of him, and he even tries to tell her to run away because he thinks he's the one in trouble when Miss Smith, the MON squad, and a bunch of police show up at the warehouse where he had been kidnapped to. and he thought it was him because he thought it was his fault because he punched the director. He's like, violence is violence. Alright, run away. Good luck. And Rachnera just laughs and all that, and we just have so... And then she grows fond of him, and even Miss Smith helps resolve it. Rachnera goes, I need a place where... And Kurisu's right here, and she's just leaning up against him. I need a place where it's been already remodeled to house several homestay girls and all that, and where the owner has no quarrels against me being an Arachne. And... yeah, she just goes on there, and she's, like, very, subtle about it, but it's really, really nice, because she actually has a smile on her face. And she's not a bad character, it's just... given her circumstances, given the looks people give her, she was portrayed. And I feel bad for her, and I also really, really like her. She's a good character, just not my absolute favorite. I can't wait till we're introduced to a lot more. I've saw the character designs from the manga and into the anime form, so I know they're going to appear, and I'm hyped. This is going to be good. There's so much more comedy to come. Next episode, it's going to be even a good one, with Kurisu sick. So yeah, be sure to tell me your thoughts. Leave a like, comment, subscribe for more reviews, reactions, vlogs, talks, the usual. This is Iru Nation. You're my lovely, lovely, outstanding community. Civilians and citizens. I can't say. I have 2,700 subscribers, and I get a good amount of views on videos. You guys, I like it when you tell me your thoughts. Did you like certain characters? How do you feel about Rachnera or the MON squads? Who's your favorite out of the MON squad? Zombina is my favorite, but I like all of them individually. Yeah. Follow the links down in the description. Be sure to check out my Twitter where you can follow me. And if you go check my channel, you can follow me. Add me on Facebook. Yeah. And go check out the anime episode. Episode 7 of Monster Musume no Iru Nichijou. Everyday life with monster girls. Kurisu, you've got one hectic, comedic, sexual life. So yeah, I enjoyed this episode. I really did. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next review. So, have a good day. Watch lots of anime, read lots of manga. The usual. Bye-bye, guys. Iru Nation out.